the utility fund $159,613.36 for a total docket of $1,553,571.75.
We have a motion by Alderman Geist. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Young. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Klein.
Aye.
Alderman Bledsoe. Alderman Guy.
Aye.
Alderman Bostic.
Nay.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Dupree.
Aye.
Alderman Young.
Aye.
Motion carries 6 in favor, 1 opposed. All right, going on down. Number 4, we're honored tonight with special guests and presentations. First off, I have a proclamation for School Counselor Week. As everybody here that's a parent knows the important role of the school counselors. Whereas school counselors are employed in public and private schools to help students reach their full potential. And whereas school counselors are actively committed to helping students explore their abilities, strengths, interests, and talents as these traits relate to career awareness and development. And whereas school counselors help parents focus on ways to further the educational, personal, and social growth of their children. And whereas school counselors work with teachers and other educators to help students explore their potential and set realistic goals for themselves. And whereas school counselors seek to identify and utilize community resources that can enhance and complement comprehensive school counseling programs and help students become productive members of society. And whereas comprehensive developmental school counseling programs are considered an integral part of the educational process that enables all students to achieve success in school. Therefore, I, Alan B. Latimer, do proclaim February 5th through 9th, 2024 as National School Counseling Week. And please, if you get a chance, tell the school counselors how much you appreciate their dedication. They have a hard job. They put in a lot of extra hours. B, on these special guests and presentations, we're honored to have with us Chief David Linville of the Horn Lake Fire Department to present some awards to his department. Chief, how are you, sir?
Good. Thank you, Mayor. Board. I guess first of all, I would like to say thank you for letting me have this time to recognize the Horn Lake Fire and EMS, which I think is the greatest bunch that's ever served in this field. I really think that we have a great fire department. We have a great ambulance crew. Each station strives to do their best each and every day. Everybody has uh-ohs, but I think they're there most of the time to pick up people when they're down at their worst. Everybody can have a bad day and everybody can wake up on a bad day, but fire department only see you on your worst day, just so you know that. When you call the fire department, you're really not calling for anything other than you've either lost something, lost your house, loved one sick, possibly even worse in a car wreck, and the other things that they see each and every day. So on behalf of me to the fire department, I just want to thank each and every one of them. It's very, very hard to come to an inclusion of picking the best of the best. So they're all the best, okay? And each and every year, it is just one of those things. But we do come out and we start this process at the end of the year, and it starts, and it usually takes about a month to work through it. But we try to get somebody off of each shift in a nomination, and then they're put up, and then there's a little bit in the admin that we try to break it down to 2 fields. We used to try to break it into 3. But somehow or another, A shift votes for A shift, B shift votes for B shift, C shift votes for C shift. And it's a breaking tie, so now you got 3 winners in every category. So it is very hard. But saying that, I think that they do every one of them do a great job. We never have a bad thing that they don't do the best that they can do. But I do want to recognize some of these this year for standing out as a Lieutenant of the Year, Driver of the Year, Firefighter of the Year, and EMS of the Year. But before I do that, I do want to recognize 3 other young men that have been on the fire department, and they broke this thing to where they serve so many years. We try to give out a 10-year award, a 20-year award. So, you know, being around the firehouse for 20 years and doing this for this one department, I have to say is a commendment to them and their dedication to their job, dedication to the city, the citizens, and everybody out there. They are really recognized to stand out for being there. Because you have some that work 5 years in a job, they go to another job. They work 10 years in a job, they go to another job. So I want to commend these for making the 10-year commitment with this city, and then the ones that's done the 20-year commitment to this city. And then I'll give out these awards. But my first thing real quick is, just so you know, last year the fire department made 1,483 calls that was reported incidents of wrecks, fires, medical calls, and all the other things that they may even on service calls. And then the ambulance crews run 3,537 calls with the 3 ambulances that we ran. So they run a lot of calls. You really just don't realize how many calls they go on in a year. But the ambulance had over 3,500. The fire department was almost 1,500. So we run 3 stations round the clock. There's always something going on. There's always some type of call, whether it's minor to a major one. We do have a few major ones sometimes, but we do run all of them. So sometimes it's just a child locked in a car. We go unlock it and get them out. We keep mom from beating us up too bad. But my first 20-year plaque tonight, I would like to recognize Battalion Chief Steve White, 20 years of service. My other 20-year goes to Lieutenant Paul DeStephanis. I have a 10-year award tonight going to Timothy Jones, driver Timothy Jones. You may get me on this, but I also want condolences to the board. Kim lost his mother last week. So, just so, keep your prayers. Like I said, they did an outstanding, being here that long, putting up with me that much, and everybody else is that. My Lieutenant of the Year, he was recognized to being, he started out as an EMT driver, went on and got his lieutenant, a paramedic, also has served as a driver, lieutenant, which he's currently lieutenant. He's the only lieutenant in the fire department that holds the rank as lieutenant paramedic. Never afraid, and it's very hard to be the supervisor some days, and then some days you're just told, you're on the ambulance today, by the way, so then he has to step off the fire truck and get on the ambulance. But he never complains. If that's where his detail goes and pulls him, he just does it. He's been an outstanding employee for the city for, I'm going to be sorry I didn't write this down, but ever since 2008 when he was hired. So he's been an outstanding employee of this city for that long, and he still serves every day as a great leader. He comes in, does his job. He tries to make everybody, he's an upbeat for the fire department, and just tries to do the best he can each and every day, and he does an excellent job as being the supervisor of his shift. And Adam Tudor, Lieutenant. He said that was a good one. I said his battalion chief made up a lot for him. Driver of the Year, and this is one that he worked a long time as a firefighter, kept saying, well, I'm not ready to be promoted, I just want to stay a fireman. I think he finally seen that everybody's going to run off and leave him if he didn't step up and move on. So then he decided he was going to start getting together and try to work his way in promotions, because promotions is something that in the fire department and any other thing in our service, you have to earn those positions. You've got to work hard, unless you're me and you just give it to me. But anyway, each and everything in this is provided that they test, and we do strive to make sure they understand their positions. Once you get promoted to driver, a lot of days this individual, he stands up, he does a great job. If he needs to ride up for the lieutenant being out, he steps up. He takes a lead, and he does an outstanding job as leadership for his crew when he's asked to do so, or just make sure that his apparatus is in good condition, everything's in professional manner. So I'd like to recognize Mr. Will Sis, driver. For Firefighter of the Year, this young man, we're going to recognize him on a couple things. We hired him in 2019. He wasn't here hardly any time he was deployed. He went to serve the United States military for about 3 years. He came back and said, I want my job back, so we put him back on the fire truck. He went on to the fire academy. He got the award at the fire academy for the most physical fit of his class. So he was like the leader of his class. The instructors at the academy just gave him an outstanding award of how well he was, because the military had broke him from everything, so they didn't have to. So he did serve very good in the military. He's also out now as a civilian, but at this day, he still serves the Horn Lake Fire Department, and we're proud to say our Firefighter of the Year for outstanding. I think he comes second in the highest score for that class and on his test. And for that, it's Dakota Rich, Firefighter of the Year. EMS of the Year, a paramedic. Sometimes we have it as an EMS award because we do have EMT drivers, we have paramedics on the ambulance, but this year I want to recognize this outstanding young man for the very good job he does, taking pride in his unit, in the operation of the unit, making sure everything is ready to go. He also spends a lot of time with his partner, trying to make sure he's ready, hoping to get him to go on to be paramedic. I think he's trying to go firefighter instead of paramedic, but he's trying to talk him into it. So I want to recognize him for taking the time and being there on the ambulance calls, because I know they're very stressful. They spend a lot of time at the hospital. They get hung out at the hospital. I know you may see this on TV, but it's real. This ambulance goes to the hospital. It don't mean you go straight in. You sit there for hours on the wall with the patient to get them to that doctor, to that nurse. But we have to hang with them. So these guys and gentlemen, they do it. They hang on the wall. They may be there 6 hours. They may be there 4 hours. Sometimes it's been longer, but we just pray we can get them out of there before they have to go home. We work 24-hour shifts. We try to get them out so they can go home. But sometimes they are hung on that wall for a long time. And I do want to recognize him for his outstanding service, his dedication to the city, and he wants to make sure everything runs smooth at the station and on the scene. So recognize Michael Denman, Paramedic of the Year, 23. this time, that's all I have as the award. I think I was gonna let them be dismissed, and go out, and they're gonna do pictures outside in the foyer while we can finish doing the business of the city. Unless anybody in the board has anything, the only other thing I have, and I wanna speak, and I'll mention it under my thing, we did receive 150 smoke alarms from the state on the grant, and we will start that within the next 2 weeks, try to have it on the Facebook where people can send us in, apply. We just got to find out some of the rules and get a waiver fixed up to where we can get them to sign that waiver to take the liability off the city. But outside of that, that's what we have. Thank y'all, board, for letting me have this time.
Great job, Chief. Thank you, Chief, for the excellent presentation and for your outstanding leadership and service to the fire department and to the citizens of Horn Lake. Congratulations to all. It's hard to pick just one because every one of you do a tremendous job, and all of us are indebted to you and your families. All right, letter C. Okay.
I was gonna let them step out. They got calls to make. We got emergency calls. I gotta get them ready.
Ms. Carter, after the meeting is over, I have this proclamation, if you'd like to take it. Yes, ma'am. All right, still under special guests and presentations, we're down to letter C. We are honored to have tonight the Lions Club First Vice District Governor, Mr. John Storley, to present an ADA program for the park. Mr. John, welcome, sir.
Oh, basically, I just wanted to come and try and get a little more information regarding the ADA park. We've been, actually, I've been working with Alderman Young for about two and a half years, trying to get this set up and started so that, again, that's what Lions do, is help in the community. And getting this ADA park for those children is a big deal for us also. We're looking, part of our grant, we're trying to do a 50-50 grant with the city to get the money for that. I've gotten some of the drawings in that, but I need to get the drawings, the prices, the equipment, a list of the equipment, pretty much a list of everything, so that I can take it back and we can send it to LCIF and get answer all their questions. It'll go through a process, and then, like I said, their request, which I'm not 100% sure of the size or anything, but one of the requests that they have is that we can put a Lions emblem at the park. And I don't know if anybody's got questions or that, I'll try and answer what I can, but just needed to get some of that information, make sure that aldermen are okay with me having that information to send on to LCIF.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for providing the information on the proposed ADA park. It looks absolutely fantastic. I understand it's 50-50 grant, and you have a rough idea of what the proposed cost would be, sir?
I don't know exactly what the cost of it is, I've been working, getting with Drew and with Alderman Dave and that, and find out what the total cost is. And then hopefully, like I said, once we get all the information, we can send that off and then get approved for the 50/50 grant. So we would end up paying 50% of it.
That's wonderful. So what you want tonight from the board members is feedback on whether they would like to see this proceed? Is that correct?
Well, yeah, and if they do want to see it proceed, then the next step is getting, like I said, what the price is, if they've gotten that already, I believe they have, but a price for everything, a list of everything that's going to be in the park, all the equipment, and then some drawings of how it's going to set up and be established, and then I'll send that off. We'll get our answer in a few months, and then once that happens, like I said, we will ask at that time that once the park is done and opened, we'll want to basically, what do you want to call it? Grand opening, I don't know what the exact word is, but where we'll have people, dignitaries from the Lions along with the city and that, opening up the park and unveiling the emblem, plaque emblem that will be at the park also.
Yes, sir. Mr. Drew, have you been working with Mr. John and Alderman Young on this? Or?
Yes, sir. We have been speaking about the ADA park, and if I can, Mayor, I would like to respectfully request from the board tonight, request a motion to put out for bid for all-inclusive ADA park, which will be located near the tennis courts. Ms. Julie, can you show the pictures on the, if you could go to option B there. Exhibit B is the one I would request the motion on for the playground. It would be approximately $420,000. And it would be all ADA, all-inclusive. In the packets that I gave all the aldermen and yourself, Mayor, there will be shade above those swings there, so the entire park will be shaded. And I will have the specs to give to Mr. John very, very soon on that.
You through?
Yes, sir, I'm finished, yes.
Alderman Young, I understand Mr. John said y'all been working a couple of years on this?
Yes, sir. If I may.
Yes, please.
John and I served in the Lions Club for years, and the Lions are always interested in how they can help the community, what they can do for a community, whether it's doing a food drive or something as major as this park. I would ask all the board members and people that are here watching or whatever, we did a $1.3 million park, I believe it was, in Columbus, ADA park and a baseball park.
Right.
Combined. And that cost the city of Columbus, I think, a little over $500,000. They got $1 million park. This won't be nowhere near that. But the same thing happened in Corinth. We went into Corinth and we did about a $750,000 deal in Corinth, where we redid their complete walking trails, their playground, an ADA park, parking. I think we even paved one of their parking lots.
Some of it, yeah.
I believe it was. And so about $475,000 later, Corinth had a $850,000 ADA park with a walking park. So Lion John and I have been talking about this for a couple of years, and Mr. Drew and I have been discussing it back and forth, kicking it back and forth, and things take time. It's time for Horn Lake to have one, in my opinion. We can get this. We have the economic development money that we located that will be used to support this. Our portion of it won't come out of any of the budgets or anything. That's what this money is there for. This is an economic development project, I do believe, for the betterment of the city. So I would like to move forward with Mr. Drew and First District Governor John Storley and make this dream become a reality. And I think the board would benefit, and anybody's able to help or do whatever they need to do to help us happen. I think we need it.
Well, it's a wonderful project. Anybody on the board have any questions? Alderman Bledsoe.
Yeah, great job. One thing, we need a list of all the parts, everything, so they can list them, so that way when one breaks, we'll know about what the cost's gonna be to fix it.
Exactly right.
Because we did a park, and next thing you know, it broke, and the swing sets went up from $400 to $900, so
We'll
that'd
just
be.
take it out of your check, don't worry.
That's fine, I'll write a check. And, thank you very much, I really appreciate it. I was a park man a long time ago, and, we had wooden structures, so, thank you.
Alderman Bostic.
Yeah, this is going to be a great asset to the city. There's no doubt about it. And from day one, when I was elected, it was a big push for Latimer Lakes Park to get up to speed. And with this board and Drew's direction and the things we've been able to accomplish there have been awesome. This is going to be awesome. And it's like Alderman Young said, the economic development funds will be able to set this off. And I'm ready. I don't think there's anybody on this board that wouldn't make a motion. And if we could all make a motion at one time, and all second at one time, and all vote one time, I'm sure that would be a plus for the city. I have one quick question for Drew. You said this is going to be located over by the tennis court?
Yes, sir, it would be, there's a walking path that goes from the parking lot around past the tennis courts, and it'll be on the opposite side of that walking path. It'll be visible, completely visible from Neil Road, and I think the community will love the location.
Oh, that would be awesome. My question is, in the bid that you would want us to make a motion tonight to put out to bid, would that require some more parking area over there if we put this in since it's going to be in that area, or do you think the parking that we have there is going to be sufficient for what we're going to do?
Yes, sir, I think the parking we have over there be sufficient.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Alderman Bledsoe.
Hey, Drew, what did you say exactly? From the bathroom, it's east of the bathroom, tennis courts?
Yes, it's east, it's just east of the tennis courts and the bathrooms.
Okay, well, the reason I was saying that, the tennis courts have lights. We can get some more lights and stick up there on the same poles and shine down, and it'd be a lot cheaper.
Yes, sir, yep, we can do that.
Anyone else? Alderman Young.
Mr. Drew, as you and I discussed on that walkway going down to the park, the ADA park, would you please, if you could, include it into the bid, maybe for a couple of benches in there with some covers for the parents to sit on or whatever? If we could just get one or two benches down through there, and maybe at a later date we can get a pavilion or something even on that side. I mean, we really need to develop that side of the park, I feel.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So if you've got other things you want to put in there,
Anyone else?
put them in there.
Anyone else?
Mayor?
Alderman Johnson.
This is a wonderful idea, and it certainly is going to be an asset to our city. I have one thought, and I know I've seen this going on where I work. We have to enclose the ADA accessible playground in a fence so that other children are not destroying what these children with special needs need to have in order to enjoy being outside. Have we thought about anything? And I know we cannot put a gate around it. I do understand that. But we do certainly want to make sure that it's only for those families that really need to be over there. I know we can't say, oh, this child can't be there, but only the families who need to be there should be allowed to.
So you're requesting Mr. Drew, when he works this up, to see about the price of fencing around it?
No, I don't think we can fence it or should fence it, but maybe a sign to say that, you know, we really wish that only families who need to be over there would use it.
Anyone else? Alderman Bledsoe?
Well, once the fencing come up, I think anytime you have kids out there playing with balls or whatever, you need fencing to kind of herd them up, because you turn your head, next thing you know, they're out in the middle of the street. So I think it's a safety thing, and I've been preaching on that for a long time, so I think that'd be a great idea to put it in the thing and do it all at once while you're doing the bids. That way you don't have to come back and put a blacktop road in from gravel because you didn't have enough money.
Yes, sir. Anyone else?
Mayor.
Alderman Young?
Mr. Bledsoe, would you talking about like a three-way fence around it just to keep stuff from going towards the road, or are you talking about all the way around? I lost it. Okay, like a three-way around it kind of thing.
You open the gates to get in, you shut the gates, and you have to watch one place.
I like it. Okay, good idea, good suggestion. Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Robinson, Alderman Young suggested that the funding come from the Economic Development Fund. I know the board members would like to know, is that possible? Are those funds going to be available?
Yes, sir, we have more than enough in there.
Sir? How much now, Mr. Jim?
1.7 million.
I think there's enough.
Use that for community center?
The board does a good job with y'all's money. Ebenezer Scrooge is sitting up here, so you thank them for that. And Mr. Robinson and the department heads also. Does anyone else have any questions or comments for the generous offer from the Lions Club and Governor Storley? Do we have a motion?
Mayor,
Alderman Young.
I'd like to make a motion that the city enter into an agreement with the Horn Lake Lions Club, District 30M Lions Club, to assist us in the production of an ADA park to be located at Horn Lake, Latimer Lakes Park, where Mr. Drew decides it needs to go, and that we split the cost with said Lions Club, and they are allowed to put a sign up saying that they contributed to this event.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Young. We have a second by Alderman Bledsoe. Is there any discussion?
Mayor,
Alderman Klein.
and let's say I added that we would split the cost 50-50. Yeah.
That's going to be in your motion. That's in the second? All right. Any more discussion? Did we get a second? Alderman Bledsoe. All right. Motion by Alderman Young, second by Alderman Bledsoe. Roll call, please, Miss Julie.
Alderman Young. Aye. Alderman Dupree.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Bostic.
Aye.
Alderman Guy.
Aye.
Alderman Bledsoe.
Aye.
Alderman Klein.
Aye.
Motion carries 7 in favor, none opposed. Governor Storley, thank y'all very much for your more than generous offer. I'm sure that there are quite a number of people here in this city be very appreciative. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And the Lions Club. Yes, sir. Mr. Drew and Alderman Young for working on this project. All right. Number 5, planning. I don't have anything down here. Is there anything, Mr. Andrew?
No, sir, I do not have anything at this time.
All right. Number 6, new business. Chief Limble, you want to talk about the ambulance fees, please, sir?
There's been on the ambulance fees, I presented, I guess everybody has that sheet in front of them with the new proposal. And then I also attached what we currently were charging. Our last increasement was back in October of 2021. But what I actually also included in that was the comparison sheet for Tate County, Marshall County, and Tunica. Those ambulances are run privately, but that is their, excuse me,
Do you see this?
that is their billing schedule. I'm sorry. DeSoto County had their increasement yesterday, and they went with the rates that we currently have. DeSoto County, the DeSoto County ambulance, they run 3 out of the county, and this is the rates that they adopted yesterday, along with Olive Branch and Hernando. They're supposedly discussing that to move up as well. And then I was presented, the counties goes in effect March the 1st of 2024. What I was presenting to you is what we've met to try to get our rates up on the ambulance billing, because our billing company, they pretty much, this is what the insurance companies pay, and it's the premium that they pay, and they just, it's been brought several times back and forth about us being so low on our ambulance billing.
Excuse me, Chief.
But if that's kind of where we at.
Excuse me, Chief, just a moment, please, sir. I need to, if I understand you correctly, DeSoto County has increased their rates to the rates of the Marshall County, Tate County, and Tunica County, in that range right there?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yeah, they went to this chart that I currently presented. This is what they actually adopted. I was told by the EMS supervisor yesterday, he called me and said they adopted it yesterday to go in effect March the 1st. Olive Branch and Hernando was doing the same, and I believe South Haven's working to get theirs the same, but I'm not 100% sure where they're at on their adopting it, but.
Thank you, sir.
I guess if there's anybody got any questions that you'd like to ask, I just put it before you to get your input to see, you know, this is a rate that would be billed out to their insurance company, whether it's a car wreck insurance, medical insurance, Medicare, Medicaid. There's going to be a percentage they only pay in that in certain categories, but normally there's always some deals in this when there's write-offs, just like in the hospital, you know, they bill a patient. Hospital that is a write-off. If we have a deal with Blue Cross and Blue Shield, our billing company handles all that on their end when they do it. If there's they pay it all up front, they get a 30% discount, but it'll still come off of this fee that we're charging. There'll be a billing from this new fee. If the board so chooses to adopt it, we'll go in effect March 1st if you so can do that. But we did make an increasement back in back in 2001, and that was the last time we did one with our billing company when we started over with them. And as you're well aware, our billing company, and you also approved that tonight, just so you're aware, in the consent agenda, to keep the same billing company, they did go up 0.5% from 7.75 to 8.25. For a 3-year contract on that, and then we did include our software with them. They handle all that. We don't pay for any software. We pay them for it, but they maintain the software for the ambulances to do the billing. It's all the same billing through, pretty much, it gives them the access to get a lot of information just straight from the hospital without us having to give it to them, because it's all in the same billing that the hospital's in.
Well, your crew's really doing an excellent job. I believe you stated nearly 3,500 calls in the last year.
We did. We don't collect every dollar that's billed, but we do try. The billing company does their best in the due diligence to get the money, especially through the insurance companies, and whether it's in a car wreck. like I say, I know it's a big increase, but this is kind of where we at. If it was discussed about moving it up in a step, but then we just took the surrounding areas from what Tate County, Marshall County, and Tunica, all three of those counties touch us, and this is what they're billing through their billing ambulance service. So that was what was kind of presented from, we have a monthly meeting with the EMS, with our med control, and that's what's being discussed at several of our meetings about making this increasement. But we all agree that if one goes up, the whole county go up. We shouldn't do it. We all should be in the same together because we're doing the same service. If we get a call tonight to go to South Haven, we go. So if South Haven gets a call to us, they come. So we go to Walls, they come to us. We go to the county, we go to Hernando, we go to Olive Branch. At one time, there was just a few ambulances, but right now, I think it's almost 17 ambulances. It's 911 in the county, and I think they're trying to get to 18 or 19. The county said next year in October, I think they're putting the fourth one in over in Cochran, I believe. And then I think South Haven's trying to get a new one up. When they get their new fire station on Star Landing up, they're adding a new ambulance. So we currently run 3, one out of each station. We ran it for a long time with 1. Now we had to move it to 2. Now we're up to 3. And some days we could use 4 and 5. But
Anyone have any questions for Chief Linville? Alderman Klein?
Yeah, Chief, you said something about now, if an individual gets picked up and doesn't have insurance, how would that be handled through?
they will be billed, but there was a lot of that stuff that they don't have any insurance, then, a lot of our stuff is covered by the taxes, but the citizens or whatever, we've never went gunpoint after the money.
Right.
So, we're not gonna not bill them because we can't. But there's a lot of times you just, you're not gonna be able to collect the money, but we try the best, and the billing company does the best they can do to collect it. And in some cases, they do get some of it they get none of it. But, we do have a billing company that is chasing the dollar, but if they don't get the dollar, they don't get paid either, so.
Well, I've noticed, there's such a big difference between what it was from the county, which I guess we were the same as the county.
The rate that we were is where DeSoto County was, all of DeSoto County ambulance, South Haven, Olive Branch. That chart that I give you, the $12 a mile, starting on that, that's where we currently all at. And we took a while to get everybody on the same page, but once we got everybody on the same page, it has worked out really good. Pretty much everybody in the county uses the same billing company, so, there's a lot of cross-references that they're able to do if they pick up multiple patients from different areas, so.
Thank you, sir.
Does anyone else have any questions or comments for Chief? Chief Linville, you mentioned in your remarks about renewing the contract.
Yeah, that was in the consent agenda. Did renew the contract, well, it's set up for once Billy, and I did speak to Mr. Campbell tonight, he wants to look through that real good, and then he will get the
All right, sir, because I was going to say it wasn't on the agenda, and I didn't know whether that was just a
It was on the
typo.
consent agenda, I think, is where it got put, but that was just the contract of billing. I know last year, a little over 700,000 we collected on the ambulance, so it's come up every year. Of course, we pick up more and more, but, I know for a long time we were budgeted like 4, and I think when we did this budget this year, we was able to move that revenue up to 700. I would like to be able to move it up next year to $1 million plus for you, so we can have more, because you just purchased an ambulance tonight. If you didn't see that, that was on the consent agenda. The bid that we have was $228,000. Is that right? 228,735. It's nothing elaborate about that ambulance, but just a unit that we need to replace. We've had the other one for 8 years at Station 1, so just trying to put a new one in there and then move that one as a backup reserve.
Anyone else have any questions or comments for the chief? And you're satisfied with the agency that we're using?
Yes, sir, we've never, they've been
All right, sir.
they've been excellent in trying to do the best, I think, to get our money.
All right, well, we're on letter A. Do we have a motion?
Mayor,
Alderman Geis.
I make a motion to approve the increase in ambulance fees to be effective March 1st, 2024, to be comparable to the rest of the county.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Geis. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Klein. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please, Miss Julie.
Alderman Klein.
Aye.
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 Motion carries 7 in favor, none opposed. All right, going down to letter B.
Hey, one thing, Mayor, before I go,
Yes, Chief.
we do have this listed in here, and there's a refusal of $100 for refusals. That is only billed to the patient if we go to their house or we go somewhere and we give treatment, and then they refuse to go by ambulance, then we do bill. But as far as someone coming to a wreck and they didn't want the ambulance, we're not gonna bill somebody that didn't want us there to begin with. And we do get that call sometime for elderly people because the daughter calls for mom or calls for dad. We get there, dad and mom do not want nothing to do with us. We try to give them our best treatment we can, but we don't bill them for that, okay? But we do encourage them to seek medical attention, if even taken by private car if they don't go by us. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, letter B. Do we have a motion?
Mayor,
Alderman Young.
so moved. Motion to change order number 4 for $32,426.29 to Murphy and Stone Incorporated for City Hall renovations project.
Motion by Alderman Young. Do we have a second? Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Geis. Now, any discussion? Alderman Bledsoe. Mr. Robinson.
Yes, sir. Yes, in your packet, that consists of 3 things, and I would like to explain those. 2 are regarding lighting, and 1 is regarding door closures. The door closures is $13,000. It is, as you see on each door, there's door closures. Those were not included in the renovation to replace. These door closures are 23 years old, and as they've been taken off and put back on, because each door is coming off and getting refinished, and we've seen it even before the renovation starts. There's hydraulic fluid leaking out of those. Again, remember, they're 23 years old. As they've put these door closures back on, they're not closing the doors. We have 2 doors in the court department that are on a locking system, which keeps the court and police department secure. Those door closures, we've had to put, I think, 3 different door closures on there. Our old closures that are 23 years old, until we found one that had strong enough hydraulics to keep it closed. So when we started going through that, we just said, we're going to have to get some door closures anyway, because the ones we're putting back up are leaking. So they're pricing 50, you can see 50 additional door closures. That's what that one is for. To get brand new door closures and not use the 23-year-old door closures that we have. One is for light dimming systems in 4 different areas. One is in this room, one is in the mayor's conference room, the admin conference room, and the police department conference room. What that will allow us to do is when we are having presentations, we have LED 4-foot lights and then the LED can lights. It will allow us to dim the can lights to where, well, in this room, it will dim all the can lights up along the front wall, so there'll be less glare on the screen area. And it will actually let us shut off the 2 lights in front of the screen that you all are viewing up above in case we have some things that are really hard to see. So, and it will also put new lights or additional lights in the archway outside this door. If you go out tonight and you stand just on the other side of those 2 wooden doors, it's a real dark area right there at night when we don't have any sunlight. So we were going to go ahead and look at that. But the mayor's conference room, the admin conference room, and police conference room all have either a screen that comes down out of the ceiling or a television for presentations. So it'll allow us to dim those lights to where we can have presentations in those rooms. Sorry, the other one is for the additional lighting out here in the archway of the courtroom. So they're having to rerun some electrical for that because we've never had any lighting in those archways. So those are the 3 items that make up that $32,000.
Alderman Bledsoe.
I'm not in favor of change orders. If you replace a 22 years old door, seems like you ought to do the whole thing at one time. When you put the bids and stuff out, that's well, oops, we didn't do it. Well, it should have been done at the time. If you're gonna replace the door, you might as well do the whole thing. And,
these are the original doors. They just took them off, sanded them, restained them, and sealed them. So all these doors used to be a darker color, and they restained them as they did restained all the wood in here too. So those are all our original doors because they're good, solid, hardwood doors.
But we should. Okay.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay. Well, we should have replaced all the hardware when we did. If it's 22 years old, it's kind of like me, you wore out. So it's time to replace it. All that should have been done on the front end when we did. Of course, you can't shut the door after the cow's out. So anyway, I'm just saying, I don't like change orders, never have, but that's all I got to say.
Alderman Geis.
Does this change order still covered by the bond? That you had saved money on the bid, didn't you? So there's still some money there to use.
Yes, we had about $420,000 that was that the bid came in under the bond that we took out.
So it's not extra. It's covered by the bond.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Anyone else? Alderman Bledsoe.
Is all the change orders covered so far by our put back money?
Yes, it is.
I know you're going to hate me for this, but you're talking about the lighting for this screen and that screen. Do you really think we need lights to dim them? They look pretty good right now. We can read them. Is this more or less a cosmetic request, or is there some need for it?
Well, when we have text up there, it is relatively easy to read. Miss Tara does videos, different types of videos for MASAP, and the videos, and if we ever did videos, they're a little bit harder to see. When you had Mr. Drew's pictures up there, you kind of lost some of the detail. But if I would have snuck around there and turned off some of the lights, you could have seen it a little better. But You know, it's one of those things that we're hoping that we do it now and not say, oh, why didn't we do that in the next year or so when maybe the resolution of these starts getting bad, or we have other things besides text. Text is real easy to read, but if you have pictures and some of Mr. Andrews' planning items up there, you can see the detail a little bit better.
And I forgot about Ms. Tara and court. I did. Does anyone else have any questions or comments?
Mayor, just one more.
Alderman Geis.
It's slightly related to this. The new lighting system in this building, is it set up to when no one's in there and there's no movement for a while that the lights automatically shut off to save money?
I wish, but that would have been an additional cost, and we did not do that in any of the areas. You see that a lot in restrooms where they cut off, but we did not.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else have any questions or comments? We had a motion, we had a second. Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Young.
Aye.
Alderman Dupree.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Bostic.
Aye.
Alderman Guy.
Aye.
Alderman Bledsoe.
Nay.
Alderman Klein.
Aye.
Motion carries 6 in favor, 1 opposed. All right, number 7, citizens' remarks. Ms. Carter. 3 minutes. And you might as well get your proclamation while you're up here.
Oh, yes, sir. I don't think I've ever had you guys make me cry. Thank you so much for the motion y'all passed tonight on the playground. It just melted my heart. I've recently become a board member for the Mississippi Coalition for Citizens with Disabilities, and I absolutely cannot wait till I go to Jackson next week and tell them what Horn Lake is doing. I wasn't sure how that would go today, so I wanted to speak and just say thank you, but he was talking about an ADA inclusive playground, and I just wanted to kind of reverberate how amazing that is. The playground we have now is ADA accessible, but it's not ADA inclusive, which is a huge difference. And so having an ADA inclusive playground will stimulate so much in our young kids in our area. It will not only boost their self-confidence, it'll boost their independence, it will boost their self-esteem, it will allow them to play with peers no matter if they're in a wheelchair, if they're in a walker, if they have braces, if they are cognitively impaired, they can still play and be on the same line with other non-handicapped peers. So I just wanted to say thank you. Shadow Oaks is getting an ADA inclusive playground, which will also make families hopefully want to come to our area. So having a school playground as well as a public playground will be huge as well. And I wanted to leave you with this thought. Diversity, which is our ADA playground, diversity is being invited to the party, but the inclusivity, the inclusion is being asked to dance. So thank you for asking our kids to dance. Thank you.
Thank you. You're so, Ms. Carter, thank you for all you do, and you volunteer for the Planning Commission. Thank you so much.
Mayor,
Alderman Young.
Ms. Carter, please don't bring any more wildlife up here. The mayor was with it the other day with eagles and stuff and all that, you know. That was an awesome program y'all did with the Shadow Oaks Elementary. That was really awesome. Good job.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mrs. Carter. All right, Mayor Alderman correspondence. I have nothing except to state that the American Legion, we're getting another big honor because the national commander of the American Legion is going to come into Horn Lake February the 19th? 18th.
He slept since then.
It's on Monday.
They're telling me the 19th. Well, I was just lucky. They were telling me the 19th. And it's quite an honor, the national commander of the American Legion, to come to Horn Lake. thank you, and thank you and all the members of the American Legion for their service and their sacrifices. That's why we can sit here tonight and argue among ourselves and talk to each other. I have nothing. Alderman Young, you have anything, sir?
They're just following up on the American Legion. One of the Legionnaires from Horn Lake, Mr. Mike, is over in Taiwan right now. He just returned from Vietnam, looking on a POW. Cambodia, on a POW recovery team. This American Legion in Horn Lake, they don't play. When they took an oath of office, they meant it. And I want to congratulate Mr. Mike and the 134th for everything y'all do for this community. It's great to know that. Thank you so much. And the second thing I want to do is if anybody missed the, and I know Alderman Bostic was here and Alderman, Dupree, sorry. So it's getting old, it's not for sissies. Chief Pullen down here, she came and did a talk with the Neighborhood Watch. And let me tell you something, she had people eating out of her hand before she left here. You're absolutely the epitome of what a police officer should be and an executive should be in a police department, man. You handled that with dignity and grace, and I'm just so proud that you're here in Horn Lake, and I thank you and your officers for everything y'all do each and every day. Thank you, ma'am.
Alderman Dupree, you have anything, sir?
Just one thing, we were talking about the ADA part. You know, I deal with special needs every day. We got some folks that are severely autistic. They will run off from you. If you turn your head, they're gone. So if I could go back to say about the fence around this, if it can be totally enclosed, it would help the parents so much better. You know, it's a peace of mind as well. So I think it should be enclosed all the way around. That's what I have to say about the park. But I also concur with Alderman, what's his name here? About the chief. She did we couldn't ask for a better chief. So thank you. That's what I have.
Alderman Johnson.
No, sir.
Alderman Bostic.
Yes, sir. A couple of things. Alderman Young couldn't have said that any better for Chief Pullen and what their wives do for the Neighborhood Watch that I was able to take some time out of my day and come to. And it's so important that all the citizens get involved in what's going on in the city to be the eyes and the ears for this police department. They have a tough job, and it's going to take the whole community to help them out to get it to where it needs to be. But we are in good hands with her being our chief and along with the rest of these directors, so I just wanted to thank her for that. Also, I couldn't go without mentioning, I guess everybody sees my tie here, and I've been able to wear this tie numerous times over my service here. But we will have a representative from Horn Lake High School on the Kansas City Chiefs. It is Darius Harris. He will be representing the city of Horn Lake. So even whether you like the Chiefs or not, let's root Darius Harris on as he seeks another Super Bowl ring. I think that's going to be exciting. And last but not least, if any of the aldermen have not watched the Planning Commission meeting that took place this last week, I suggest you do so. And anybody in the city that hasn't seen it, you can go to our website and go under our meetings, and they have a separate area there for planning. Every one of our planning commissioners stepped up this last meeting. I was so proud of them. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it, and we've got a good group in our planning commission trying to make some changes, and with Andrew's direction, I think that's going to happen, and I'm excited to see it.
Alderman Geis.
No, sir.
Alderman Bledsoe.
Thank you, Lions Club. Really appreciate it. Back years ago when I was a little boy, we used to ride bicycles with light bulbs, selling bulbs for the Lions Club, so we raised money. And, they did help airing the tires. They weren't those, wooden wheel kind. So, if you turn light bulbs loose with a bunch of kids, some of them gonna get broke. And, we really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun with the kids doing that, and this, what y'all are doing. We started a long time ago. We had a little bitty grant and helped us get a park down there with a playground in it, and we've been expanding ever since. And Drew, you're doing a great job. I really appreciate you. And Andrew, I think we did the right thing when we hired you as a director. You're proving yourself just like our animal director. I mean, we couldn't do any better. So don't go anywhere. So I really appreciate all our department heads. David always does, and Chief Pullman, and Steve, you never see him, he's always out working. So I really appreciate our directors. They do a fantastic job, and we're getting less complaints, which I really like. So, thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Clyde, do you have anything, sir?
No, sir.
All right. Chief Pullen, do you have anything for the board?
No, sir, Mayor.
I was talking to you earlier this week in relation to the situation with the southern border and all the migrants coming over. And I asked you if an illegal alien committed a felony, did you notify ICE? And I think the board and the citizens would be comfortable with your answer on that.
Yes, sir. So when we process that prisoner, then we take their fingerprints, and those fingerprints are transmitted to the appropriate agency that then handles it as they would. So it is, the appropriate agency is notified of it.
Thank you. Anyone have any comments on that? Or any other questions for Chief Pullen? Alderman Dupree.
So when it goes to the appropriate agencies, do they actually do anything now?
That's up to them. So the fingerprints are transmitted to the FBI. ICE can put a detainer on them. It's all federal. We do our part by transmitting those fingerprints, and how they handle it is out of our hands. But in my experience, it has been handled.
Yeah, that's good, because I know here on boots on the ground here, we do what we can. You know, all of the law enforcement. But when it gets to the next level, it just, you see what's happening today. 8 million illegals crossing into this country. And it's coming here. Eventually it's going to be here. Yeah, you know, in a bigger way. But I just hope that, thank you for what you do, and just, you know,
We do our part
trying to
in the
say
process.
things without hurting somebody's feelings. Because this is very sensitive to me. This is our country. This isn't Republican country, Democrat, or independent. We are all together, and we should act like we're all together. Anyway, I'm getting off the story. All right, thank you, Chief. Have a good day.
Anything else, Alderman? Anything else? Anybody else have any questions or comments for Chief? Mr. Bach, do you have anything for the board?
Thank you, Mayor. No, I don't have anything tonight.
Anyone have any questions or comments for Mr. Box and his never-ending pothole crusade? Alderman Guys.
I had a complaint at the end of Penwell. There's been a sewage leak there for a really long time. It stinks up that whole neighborhood. I went over there and looked, and you can see where it's coming out of the ground. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I know the complainant said he had called several times over the years, and it's fixed briefly, and then it comes back. So I don't know what needs to be done there to fix it permanently.
Yeah, we've had several calls on that over there through the past year here. Each time that we've unstopped it, it's been a lot of wet rags and wipes clogged up in the main lines. So I'm going to investigate it further. I'm going to try to get a camera down through there and see if there's anything that's just catching these rags. But should have you a better answer on that here shortly.
I know, I also saw a bunch of debris and garbage and stuff thrown up in the bushes there, tires. Looks like maybe someone's coming down through there and dumping their garbage back there and construction debris. So I don't know if that.
At the end of Penwell?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, we have we do have a tire problem issue here in Horn Lake. It's quite a bit of tires. I almost feel like it's probably a tire company or something that's dumping tires. Hard to catch.
Anyone else? Alderman Johnson.
Mr. Box, could you give us an update on C Spire? I see that they are still working in my ward, but I just want a public update so that citizens may know.
They are still about. They are not the only ones either. AT&T is doing a lot of stuff as well, and it's still ongoing. I do know Twin Lakes subdivision is here to be done here shortly, probably the end of this week. It'll be in Twin Lakes subdivision. It's just we're ready for them to get out, but it's ongoing, and I don't see any end yet.
Can I ask you one more thing?
Oh, sure.
Will citizens get a public notice or some kind of notice that they will be in their neighborhood?
I do know that C Spire will a lot of times put up a sign, sort of like a barricade sign with it saying that they're about to be in the area. But as far as that, I don't know if Andrew, do they notify y'all or anything like that of work being progressed in?
So I don't know if this was based on the contract we had with them. We have requested that they inform the planning department wherever they're going to do work. And I know in the past, just going based off of memory, in months past, they have notified us for certain neighborhoods, but then other areas, we've had citizens come to us and say, they're working over here and they didn't tell us, and they said, did y'all know about it? And we go through our paperwork, and so I think it is a matter of them picking and choosing when they're going to notify us. But as far as the legal requirements for that, I'm going to have to see where that is.
Ms. Johnson, we could, we do get the locates in early for when they're fixing to begin doing their work. I could start, once I get notification of those locates, perhaps give it to the city here to post on the website or something like that. Might help out.
Thank you. I believe that would definitely help.
Anything else? Anybody else have any? Alderman Bledsoe.
Steve, have you started looking at your contract on your grass cutting? Because this is the time to start doing that, because you got to put them out in March. So what are you going to do on your grass stuff?
Yeah, we're already set with them, and they're keeping in touch with us, and they should start here probably once springtime gets here, they'll be kicking in.
I just know if you don't get it in now, they're going to get it and go somewhere else.
Yeah, we've already got it set with them. They're set to go.
Anyone else? Alderman Young.
Mr. Box, this seems to be the Steve Box show here. This new piece of equipment we bought for the potholes that they were mentioned earlier, is that working out pretty well?
That machine works out real well. I'm very impressed with the machine. We did have a couple of problems with it this morning. The pull ropes on the one of the motors there had snapped on us, but that's typical, I guess, sometimes on things like that. But we've got that fixed, and But I'm very impressed with the machine.
Thank you. And I want to commend you and your department up there at, behind Wendy's there at the new dental office when the road sort of collapsed and created that reverse pothole. That was a monster. And also up there at, by Station 1, right up street up here, there was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath pothole that y'all got jumped on real quick. So, thank you very much for everything y'all do. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And a big reminder to anybody in the city, if you have a pothole or anything like that, please don't hesitate to call our department, 662-342-4505, and report it so we can get the order and get out there and get it fixed.
Anyone else have any questions or comments? Alderman Dupree.
Mr. Box, would that machine work well over on Twin Lakes Drive in front of the lift station? Have you seen that? It's a 4-bedroom home. There. But yeah, it's really bad there on Twin Lakes Drive. Can you take a look at that?
Yeah, whereabouts did you say?
It's by the lift station, right behind the Twin Lakes Baptist Church.
Okay, yeah, we'll take a look at it.
Thanks.
Alderman Klein.
Well, since we're on the subject of potholes, I think I've had a conversation with Daniel in regards to software that they used to have on the website where you could go in and report potholes, and that they didn't renew it because of problems or something with it. But from my understanding, y'all get an upgrade and you'll reinstate it with the new type of software to report.
I was talking, Daniel brought that up to me last week, I think, as something on the website that what citizens would be able to, they would be able to actually give us a location from right where they do it. Daniel probably knows more about the program and could probably elaborate a little more on it.
Thank you, Mr. Box. Yes, we're going to implement a 311 reporting system on the website. It was included in our web development. When I got here, it was one of the features that had never been utilized. The app, of course, was not really doing much, so this will use geolocation mapping. You'll be able to pin the pictures on the 311. We've been basically creating the description list. I'm going to be working with Mr. Simcoe from the planning department to geotag neighborhoods and whatnot, and once all that is complete, then we will get the directors all in. You'll be able to report a dog, you'll be able to report a pothole, garbage missed, whatever it is, instead of just report a concern and emails coming in with free-flowing text.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Daniel. Anyone else have any questions or comments for Mr. Box? Chief Limble, do you have anything else for the board tonight, sir?
Well, Mayor, I think I covered most of it. Thank y'all for letting me do the ward presentation. And then I will elaborate. We did get, and it's been a while, we started this project 6 months ago, but we finally did get 150 smoke detectors Monday. Yesterday, they delivered them from the State Fire Marshal's office, so we do plan on getting that on our Facebook page, on the city page, if anybody's needing one. Handicap, elderly, children, there's a lot of different things, but if someone's in need of a smoke detector, we're gonna try to implement that, but we'll have to go out and put them up. That's kind of the only, it is on a grant, but we do want to encourage the citizens, if they don't have one working, please contact us. We'll try to get them one.
Thank you, Chief.
That's kind of all I have tonight.
Thank you, Chief. Anyone have any comments or questions for Chief? Mr. Drew, you have anything for the board?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Board. I want to go real quick, just let you know the current playground construction is still ongoing. The project should be finished by the middle of next week, as well as this Thursday, February the 8th, is the annual tree giveaway. It's at Snowden Grove at the indoor soccer facility. So we always have a team go over there and help volunteer and just come out and get you some trees. That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Anyone have any questions or comments for Mr. Drew? Alderman Bostic.
Hey, Drew, could we set a date for a ribbon cutting in the afternoon, maybe on a Monday or something around 4 o'clock or so, 4:30, where a lot of us would be able to be there for that new playground?
Yes, sir. Yes, we'll get something going on that and let everybody know when.
Anyone else? Mr. Vance, good evening, sir. Do you have anything for the board?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Only thing I wanted to let you know is that we did get, as you well know, maybe the board doesn't, but we got notice of award on the EWP projects this past week, which was for $828,000, and that's a 100% grant, which is basically a once-in-a-lifetime deal, in my opinion. I've never seen that before, but anyway, it was because of the presidential declared emergency due to those tornadoes we had back, when it wiped out some of the Delta towns. So that money started flowing from the federal government, and lo and behold, 100% grant for the next round. So,
Well, thank you and your company for all the work you did to get it. If some of you didn't hear the amount, it's over $800,000, 100%.
correct.
And so, thank you. A lot of needed projects can be done with that. Do you have anything else, Mr. Vance?
No, sir, not this time.
Anybody have any questions or comments for Mr. Alderman Dupree?
Hello, Mr. Vance. The filtration system over on Nell Road, it was supposed to be finished in January. Obviously, the weather didn't play nice. So, do you have another estimate time of to be completed?
I have not spoken with the contractor since about a week ago, but the only thing left, I think, is some painting he has to do and a little bit of piping. So I think he told me, the last time I spoke to him, just to give you an answer here, the last time I spoke to him, he said about the middle of February, if the weather was, and I think we had weather that's conducive to finishing up. So I'll follow up with him and I'll let you know.
Well, I want to commend those guys. They're out there every day working on that.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else? Mr. Glenn, good evening. You're going to be on television tomorrow, aren't you, sir?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
All right.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, it is true. We will be on WREG tomorrow, live at 9. We've been invited to come back. We will also be on Channel 5 on Sunday during their morning presentation. And going forward, I understand that we have been permanently invited to do the Live at 9 Pet of the Day segment for WREG starting in March. So every Wednesday, we will be able to bring one of our Horn Lake pets on and present a topic and bring other shelters and other rescue groups on with us. And hopefully that will help us to form some camaraderie with the other shelters. I'm very excited to tell you all about our Facebook, Testimony of Perseverance. We were working on Facebook. I have skills in my field, but working with social media was not originally one of them. But through studying and working hard on it, we have managed to get one of our postings to almost go viral. And just to explain a little bit about what that means that people all over the country saw messages that we were putting out on our Facebook page. So this is the first time this has happened for us. So way to go, Horn Lake. We're putting out good information. We're getting a lot of positive responses from the community. And so I thank everybody for everything that they're doing. And if everyone has noticed, I am wearing one of our hoodies that we had made for Horn Lake. Anyone who purchased it, thank you. The proceeds went to Heartworm Preventatives for our shelter animals. They are a limited supply. We still have a few more if anyone wants to come down to the shelter and purchase one. And I plan on doing this once a year. There'll be a limited supply of them, and we'll do something jazzy, like put a year on it so that it kind of stands out. You'll have like a 2025 edition, a 2026 edition, something like that. But we're working on it. That's all we have from the animal shelter. Thank you.
Well, congratulations, and just like Alderman Bledsoe said, all of us know how you're really working down there. I know you'll do great. Are you gonna be in your Fox costume on television?
The Fox costume will not be on TV, not yet. Sooner or later, Fonzie will make it there, but for right now, Fonzie will be revealing himself yet again for Valentine's Day.
Oh,
Mr. Mayor.
I take that as a warning. Anyone have a question or comment? Alderman Dupree.
What's the cost of the hoodies?
$50.
Thank you.
Mayor.
Alderman Geis.
One, I appreciate everything you're doing. You're doing a great job. And I don't know if this is a complaint for you or the chief of police, but I got a complaint on Penwell as well. There is a wildlife eradication company that has a truck over there. They obviously live in the area, and they are bringing their work home and releasing it in the neighborhood. So they're releasing possums, raccoons, and stuff in the neighborhood. So I'm not sure who would handle that, but it obviously shouldn't be happening because, overrun the neighborhood with those animals, and it's also not good for them. They'll get ran over out in the street in the neighborhoods or whatever, so.
If I may, my research tells me that may be something we have to take up with DeSoto County. Horn Lake Animal Shelter is not licensed to work with wildlife, and so we have to find out if this transport is legal or not. And if it's not, that is definitely something I believe we take up with DeSoto County.
It also could be Department of Wildlife too, since it's wildlife. I know you guys don't cover wildlife unless it's some sort of an emergency, but I just wanted to let you know about that because you may be getting some complaints.
I'll look into it. Thank you, Alderman Geis.
Does anyone else have any questions or comments for Mr. Glenn? Mr. Andrew, you have anything for the board, sir?
No, sir, not at this time.
Anyone have any questions or comments for Mr. Andrew? Mr. Jim, I didn't forget. Yes, sir. Do you have anything for the board, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you. I did want to note in your packet on the revenue, the budget year to date, I did want to point out that we did get our first infrastructure check, and that was $1,042,628. We get two of those a year, one in January, one in July. That's the internet sales funds, and that is earmarked for the street maintenance project. So we are now at 100% for that fund. So it was very encouraging to see that that first check came in at $1 million. I anticipate the second check in July is $1 million. It was a little over $1 million. So what Mr. Vince and I have been anticipating is $2 million a year to go back into the roads here in Horn Lake for our citizens. So again, that is at 100%. So it will do nothing but stay at that level or more as long as everybody keeps buying things online. That is with internet sales and revenue through the state. You will see where we are with sales tax. So far, year to date, we're 2.5 million, and the ad valorem is 1.8. Considering ad valorem, we've budgeted 8.9. Just remember that it starts out small, and our biggest check will be this month in February. We get our big ad valorem check, which should be 4 to 5 million, because that's when majority of everything is assessed, and then it trickles in over the year. But I do want to voice something that Alderman Bledsoe said, even though he's mad at me now. The department heads do a great job. I could give stories of every department head in here of what a good job they do. I do want to highlight one that relates to the ad valorem. January's check came in, and January is usually up a little bit. The January check was $2.4 million, and we took that, deposited it in the bank, and we had a staff person sitting right beside me here that came running into my office and said, Jim, this is not right. One little number, actually $1, that was left off as they keyed it in. It was the last dollar right before the 28 cents, I think. They didn't type that number in, which it took our $2.4 million down to a deposit of $243,000 something dollars. Miss Julie caught that because she reconciles, the next day when we get the slips back, and I went down to the bank that same day, and we got that corrected. So a $2.1 million error that Miss Julie found for us. So she earned her paycheck and then some. But it's stories like that. The staff do a great job, but that's one that we don't want to have happen again. And I wanted to highlight that. Miss Julie did a good job on that.
Yes, you did. Thank you so much, Miss Julie. I know you are. Just like Friday, just the facts, ma'am, just the facts.
The other thing, I did put an MML sheet at your desk. That is House bills. I didn't print out any Senate bills. I gave you an update the last meeting. This one goes into a little more detail. It tells the bills that are out there and kind of where they are, who presented it. And you'll see on those that some have support in parentheses and some have opposed. So you can look over those House bills. I mean, there's one House bill in there that talks about, providing more partnerships with highways, roads, bridges, something that helps the cities keep our infrastructure up. That's supported. So you can kind of see ones that are supported, one that are opposed. I mean, there's one in there, just an example, a bill to create a tax exempt sales for educational software the last week in July. I'm not sure why that one's opposed right now, but I would encourage everybody, even citizens, to go out there and look at those and see what's being supported and what's being opposed. But these are bills that MML is pushing, and that's one that I think would have helped our education system in our schools. But just wanted you to have that.
This is really nice. Thank you for providing it. I hope they come out with one for the Senate also. Anyone have any questions or comments for Mr. Robinson? Alderman Bledsoe.
Mr. Grinch, they call me. We added 3 more things on our agenda tonight. Did y'all get them late, or they sent them in? Like February 14th, when you and the mayor going thing, we should have known that about a month ago. And if these people want their money, that's quite a bit of money. We should have got it a long time ago. Unless something happened, same things happen. I just don't like getting it on meeting night, and I'm trying to read all these big numbers, and I'm a slow reader. So, and then the police department, we should have known that they were supposed to get their chairs and stuff earlier. So that's it.
Yes, we did get majority of those. The one figure that was highlighted that changed. Mr. Billy caught that. We had a little bit of difference in the funds. So, as we see things, we want to make sure it's correct. Those 3 items we did add. We did get later, and we're trying to keep up with the Murphy and Son pay estimates, just because we were behind on 2 of them that you guys approved the previous board meeting. This one came in, and I wanted to try to get that on there so we can keep their funds going to them, so they can keep paying their subs and keep the renovation project. And that, the conference room table, I wanted to make sure we got that. We just got that sheet today, but I was pushing for it to get it today because our renovation schedule kind of changed quickly, and they moved over to the police department this week, demoed the conference room, the file room, and the break room, and they're going to be ready to start flooring that. And though that equipment is probably about 4 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks out, and if we had to wait another 2 weeks, it would just put us behind. Police department did a bunch of interviews today, and they did them all in the mayor's conference room because that conference room is down and the admin conference room is still demoed. So that's kind of why those happened.
Well, to me, it seems like they want the money, they'll get the stuff in on time, and the furniture and stuff, I understand. Planning way ahead, order your furniture 2 or 3 months ago, because it's gonna take you a year to get it, so I just thought I'd bring it up, because we've said it many times, don't add stuff to the agenda.
All right, anybody else got any questions for Mr. Robinson? All right then, we're down to Mr. Billy. Do you have anything, sir?
I do not, Mr. Mayor.
Anyone have any questions for Mr. Campbell? All right, number 12. If y'all will excuse us, we need to go into a session for closed determination to discuss what we can discuss in executive session. Do we have a motion for a closed determination?
Mayor,
Alderman Geis.
I make a motion to go into closed determination for executive session.
Do we have a second? Second. Second by Alderman Klein. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries 7 in favor, none opposed. If you will excuse us, ladies and gentlemen. Do we have a motion to come out of closed determination?
Mayor, I'll make the motion to come out of closed determination.
Excuse me, this board's in session. Do we have a motion to come out of closed determination?
Mayor, I make the motion to come out of closed determination.
Motion by Alderman Dupree. Do we have a second? Second by Alderman Bledsoe. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Klein.
Aye.
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 Motion carries 7 in favor, none opposed. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
Mayor,
Alderman Geis.
I make a motion to go in executive session for discussion of strategy session regarding prospective litigation involving a contract, discussion regarding the prospective purchase, sale, or leasing of lands, and discussion regarding personnel matters in the Public Works Department.
We have a motion by Alderman Geis. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Young. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please, Miss Julie.
Aye.
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 Motion carries 7 in favor, none opposed. Ladies and gentlemen, will you excuse us for some minutes here to go to executive session?
See you, Andrew.
Was talking with
Mayor,
Alderman Geis.
I make a motion to come out of executive session.
We have a motion by Alderman Geis. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Bledsoe. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please, Mr. Jim.
Alderman Klein.
Aye.
Alderman Bledsoe.
Aye.
Alderman Geis.
Aye.
Alderman Bostic.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Dupree.
Aye.
Alderman Young.
Motion carries 7 in favor, none opposed. Do we have any motions resulting from executive session?
Mayor,
Alderman Geis.
I move to suspend employee number 484 for 5 days, effective February 1 through 7, 2024, without pay for violation of personnel policy number 802, workplace violence, and number 701, employee conduct and work rules. 1, unsatisfactory performance and/or conduct, and 2, threatening violence in the workplace, and to place employee on probation for 12 months.
We have a motion by Alderman Geis. Do we have a second?
I'll second that, Mayor.
Second by Alderman Bostic. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Young. Alderman Dupree.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Bostic.
Aye.
Alderman Geis. Alderman Bledsoe.
Aye.
Alderman Klein.
Motion carries 7 in favor, none opposed. If there is no other business for this honorable board, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Alderman Bostic. Is there a second? Second by Alderman Dupree. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please, Mr. Robinson.
Alderman Klein.
Aye.
Alderman Bledsoe. Alderman Geis.
Aye.
Alderman Bostic.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Dupree. Alderman Young.
Motion carries 7 in favor, none opposed. Ladies and gentlemen, we are adjourned. Thank you for coming. Good night, gentlemen.